Hello and welcome to Dr. Fitness USA, the show. Exercise is medicine, strength training is stronger medicine. With your host Batista Gramode and myself, Stephen Hersey, aka Dr. Fitness USA.
We are so excited to talk to Francois Lupien. Francois Lupien is a dynamic coach, mentor, and speaker whose experience includes successfully working with Tony Robbins, Stephen Covey of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and as a consultant with Bob Proctor from the movie The Secret. Achieving excellence in everything he puts his mind to, Francois has been a Taekwondo Canadian champion, a top real estate agent for 11 years with Remax, and a serial entrepreneur with multiple successful 6-figure businesses. And today the conversation is going to be about how your health affects your performance for this wonderful journey called life. Francois, we're so excited to have you here so we can get all the secrets to the fountain of youth you found. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Batista. Thank you, Stephen. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure. So why don't we get started with you telling us a little bit more about yourself?
Well, I'm a family man, so I'll start with family. We have 6 wonderful children, and last Wednesday was our 31st wedding anniversary. I am blessed to be married to the love of my life. She's my best friend. And so this is the cherry on top of our comment. And now we have 5 grandkids. And so looking to have more. That's definitely so that's one part of it that is really important to me. And another one is health. When we talked about Stephen, he says that fitness is something that is important. And just to dive right into the subject of what you're saying, if you're not healthy, how can you enjoy life? Health is going to enable you to have wealth. You can be rich, and if you're not healthy, how are you going to do? How are you going to deal with it? So health to me is a foundational portion of what needs to be done for us to enjoy life, as you said before, to the fullest. And the healthier we are, the more we can enjoy it. So
how did health become so important to you? How did that come about?
Interestingly enough, my mom is now 91. And before COVID, she was doing 3 times a week, 45 minutes of aqua aerobics. And so with COVID, that went bad because everything was shut down. But when she was 80 years old, she still could dive from the 3-meter board. What? And so you can imagine what she was doing when she was in her 30s and 40s when I was a kid. My mom was definitely a first incentive of, and she looked at me in the eye one day, and this situation was pretty cool. I was 5 or 6 years old, and I'm 61. So you can say 5 or 6 years old, we had roller skates, and I tried and I fell, and I was like not happy. And so my mom comes out and she says, what's going on? Says, well, I hate this. And then she took him off, she put him on her feet, and she started skating in front of me in the street. I remember vividly, as if it was yesterday. And then she sat back down, looked at me, and she looked at me in the face, and she said, you can do anything you want in your life. Just believe in yourself and make it happen. So having a lot of energy and to enjoy life was something that was really, really ingrained into me from a young age, that we need to perform at high levels. And because of that, you see, if things are nurtured, they're going to grow. So because I had a desire to perform athletically at a high level all the time, my parents put me in all sorts of courses, all sorts of physical activity. My father was a doctor. He says, I can pay for you to go into sports and make things happen, but don't fool around because I'll pull the plug. So that was a great incentive for me to actually go out and make things happen. Long story short, started skiing at 5 years old, and I became a ski instructor, did competition. Everything that I touched, because of my mom always pushing, says you can make it happen, is something that I liked. And let's face it, the more momentum you gain in something, the more successful you get at it, or the more joy you derive from it. And it's got some repercussions in other areas of your life. So I would have to say, long story short, my mom is the initiator of making this life enjoyable because you're healthy to do so.
Beautiful, beautiful. So this is how you started Taekwondo as well, with all the classes you were taking, then you got started in Taekwondo?
Interestingly enough, no. And this is going to make Stephen laugh. At 16 years old, I was 6'3", 125 pounds. What? 6'3", 125 at 16. And then I was very athletic though. And so at that weight, you can grab a rope and pull yourself all the way up easily. So when the other guys are chubby and it doesn't happen, but I was skinny, it was making it happen. So someone says, hey, let's do some martial arts together. I says, sure, let's go. Now you're going to love this, Stephen. In 6 months, I gained 50 pounds. I became 175. And then after that, I gained another 10 to 185. And I stayed 185 for 44 years at 185 pounds. 44 years on that level. I was cut, lean, mean machine because I was doing it all the time. Now you're going to ask with family. Interestingly enough, I always get up earlier to do my training, not to take any time away from family life. That's what I do. That's what I decided to do. This thing of going to the gym at night for 3-4 hours to train, hey, maybe that's good for many people that are listening now, and that's okay. But remember, we have 6 kids. I could not leave my wife at home with all that chores to do, and not so I'd get up earlier. And by getting up earlier, I would exercise. And by exercising, my day was fantastic. The slump that people get at 2 o'clock in the afternoon saying, oh, I need to take a nap now. It doesn't exist when you get up early and you energize the body for it to flow. If it flows, energy goes to you. Now, when I was talking to Stephen, he says, man, you're full of energy. And I will share a secret that is amazing for everybody. Energy does not come from you. Because if energy comes from you, it is limited. My belief for you to adopt, decide to do so or not, is that energy comes through me. So there's tons of energy that exists already. And so all I do is I channel it through me and make it go through me. As it goes through me, my conduit gets bigger and bigger, and I can channel more and more energy. That way, I am never tired. I only have 2 speeds, park and drive. And park is when I sleep. Drive is when I get up. When you get up, get that energy coming, and let's make it flow. Try it. You're going to see how empowered you are from this.
Your enthusiasm and your explanation is very uplifting and inspiring. And I think the audience will be taking full advantage of that.
Thank you. And so maybe in order, because sometimes people says, how come you're always smiling and happy? And then I ask them, are you just asking or you really want to know? Some people say, no, I was just asking. But some others are saying, I really want to know. And I'll tell you, when I was a kid, I used to pout a lot. Pouting, not happy. And my mom used to tell, you see, again, my mom, she said, why don't you put a smile on your face? Life is going to be easier if you do that. No. And then after a while, she cried and she said it again and again. And I started to do it. And after a while, when I started to put a smile on my face, everything was easier. So then when people ask me, how come you're always laughing and smiling in life? And I genuinely say, because I tried it the other way and it doesn't work.
Yeah, that's
don't do it. Don't do the mistake. I'll save you the challenge.
So this philosophy of the energy coming through you, is that something that you picked up in Taekwondo? Is that part of the philosophy? Or where did you learn this?
Very interesting. When I was 7 years old, my mom put me into a diction place, meaning we needed to read or learn a poem or a text every week and then come and give it in front of our peers. There was 25 of us. By the time we finished, there was only 6 or 7. I was 7 years old. And so you'd learn something throughout the week and then you'd say it. And the teacher there said the following: whenever you're doing a speech in front of people, and whenever you're speaking and your energy goes out, and then when it hits that, it comes right back at you, and then you're re-energized for it. So therefore, you can speak in front of people for hours and hours. You're never tired because what you put out is coming back into you. Caveat, if you're putting bad energy out and he says, oh, this audience is no good, guess what's coming back at you? Multiply. Make sure that you are happy and you're making a difference. It's all about the energy, but it starts with you. You're the initiator of it. In life, there's two things outside that give light: the sun and the moon. But the moon only reflects the light from the sun. The moon is a reflector. The sun emits. And so therefore, in life, you need to emit. And sometimes we need to reflect. For example, Stephen says, Fitness International, it's really good. At first, it's okay to be the moon, meaning you are reflecting the enthusiasm of Stephen to do some exercise. But at one point, you will need to become the sun. Otherwise, you will just die when Stephen disappears. You need to change. You need to transform yourself. But at first, we're often the moon. And we need, a big sun like Stephen to give us the energy necessary so we can reflect it, and then we become it ourselves.
What do you have to say about that, Stephen?
Your experience in life and the way that you express themselves has me entertained in knowing more of the story and knowing how you handle all the things that come up in your life.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay, so what intrigued me a little bit is when you were talking about the example your mother had on you with the roller skates and how she instilled that desire and that knowledge to be healthy and active. And then a little bit later, you said that you get up before the family is up to work out so that you get it done and you don't take away the time with the family, basically. So yes. My question is, how do you teach your children that they need to be healthy? Well, in the family.
You're going to love this next one. I have 6 kids. All of them were riding a bicycle 2 wheels when they were 3 years old. What?
Wow.
3 years old. Why? Because I coached them into doing it. I made them believe that they can do it. And I put the effort in back of it. And so basically I would be and hold the bike and continue to encourage them and run in back of them. So I needed to be in shape in order to run, because let me tell you, a 3-year-old, it doesn't learn just like this. It takes a while. So I was doing it. Sometimes it would take an hour and a half to make it happen, but it would happen. And so I would instill in them confidence. You can do it. Look ahead. Make it happen. I believe in you. I got you. You got this. And so all these things instilled in them the reality that they actually could. Because when they were writing it, after a while, says, I love it, Dad. I'm not even holding you. I said, no, look in the front. And then they're doing it. And they go, wow. And yes, they fell. They got back up. I encouraged them again. And then they come doing. So all my kids started sports at a very early age because I instilled in them, like my mom did, that you can do it. You need to put some effort. If you think that you're just going to go and visualize things that are going to happen, not going to happen. We need to put efforts. You can visualize all you want to have guns, unless you lift some weights. It's not going to happen. There you go. It's not going to happen. So there's effort that needs to be put into it. So this is what I've taught my children to do. Now they're 30, 28, 26, 23, 20, and 17. And so they all exercise just about every day.
Beautiful. So let's talk a little bit about your business. And I know that you're a very successful businessman with all your accomplishments. Tell us how being healthy is affecting your success.
By having the stamina to actually continue to make it happen. If you want to have a business to generate income, and the only thing you do is your business, then you have no life, then you have no balance. Stop it. Don't. Can you see this?
Yes, I can.
So this is, let's say, the wheel of life. And you need to have balance on all these things, okay? So if what you do is you decide that you want to put more emphasis on your business, so you put more time here to the detriment of the rest. If this is a wheel and it's turning, well, it's going to be out of balance. It's going to go ta-tunk, ta-tunk, ta-tunk. You with me on this?
Absolutely.
So now, but as you're doing this, because there's only 24 hours in a day, If you can see this, I'm taking a part out of this, 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 and a part out of this in order to create this part here. Do you see what I just did?
Yes.
So now what's happening is whenever you're putting emphasis on one part to the detriment of the others will come and leach the energy from here. And what you do is going to be void of impact. Took me years to realize this one. Took me years to realize this. Put harmony in everything that you do and give every aspect of your life the time and energy it needs. Because if you go too much to one, you're starving the others and they will scream for attention, and they'll scream so loud that all the extra energy you put in, say, for example, working will be depleted. As I said, I'm saving the listeners years on this one. Be balanced in what you do. It's okay. You want to speed up? Slow down and make sure that everything is taken care of. And that includes your health. And that's what we're talking about here. Health is very important. Do not neglect your health. I don't know how old the audience here is, but I'll talk to the men. Now I got to talk to the women. If you're looking down and your belly is getting flat, ask yourself the following question. When's the last time you did a sit-up? And if the answer is not yesterday, well, then you need to do something about it. Because if it's not serving you, it's going to hurt you, meaning your back's going to hurt. You're going to be not as stamina. And when your wife or someone asks you to do something, you can't lift, and your life gets miserable. People says that we get old and we can't do things. That's not true. It's because you stopped doing the things you were doing in your youth that you can't do it anymore in your old age. I'll repeat. It's because you stopped doing what you did in your youth that you can no longer do it in your old age. Tony Robbins, used to train people 80 years old, and he would make them stronger than when they were 18 years old. You're going to say, that's impossible. Well, that's your limiting beliefs. It happens. Why? Because of exercise. As you exercise yourself, the body responds to it. It wants to live. Give it life. How? Water, air, and exercise. And as you do this, the body is going to become alive, and it's going to enable you to do more and more things. And so as you are healthy, just to come full circle with what you ask as far as business, when you're healthy, you're thinking clearer. And when you're thinking clearer, you get more imaginative. And then you have the energy. If you think, maybe I should do this, you're not going to go, but it's 5 o'clock. I'm going to stop for the day. No. You get the energy, and then you actually start it. So momentum starts with what you want. And as the momentum starts, then it glides you to the next day, and you carry with that momentum.
Dr. Fitness USA's vision is to create a stronger, healthier society of people enjoying vibrant health, unshakable self-confidence, and a sculpted body they'll fall in love with. Our custom-tailored formulas act as the GPS to your ultimate transformation so you can reach your destination faster and safer without injury. The Feminine Body Design program teaches a woman the art of strength training from a female perspective and helps her achieve the feminine physique she always dreamed of having. The Design Formula program teaches men to achieve a sculpted manly physique without injuries. Seniors can tap into the fountain of youth, get a new lease on life, rebuild their strength, and eliminate aches and pains. Those with injuries learn to rehabilitate them, recover mobility, and relieve back, neck, shoulder, and knee pain.
Now, with working with Steven, just in, 4 workouts I think so far, if that, I have no pain in my knees like I used to.
Suddenly a quietness in the mind, clarity.
I mean, I don't have back pain anymore. It's amazing. It's just really amazing.
I'm Bernie Dorman. I'm founder and chairman of CEO Space International, and I so endorse Dr. Fitness for leaders to have better lives. He does the inside and the outside to make sure you're the best leader you can ever be. And yesterday was already too late to say yes.
If your mind can conceive it and your heart can believe it, then Dr. Fitness USA can help you achieve it.
So we talked about water, air, exercise. What about nutrition?
Okay, I love that. Nutrition. I have a Vitamix. I don't know if you know about Vitamix. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't have one, buy a Vitamix. And what it does, it's got a 2 horsepower. That's the size of a lawnmower engine. And in it, it's not knives, it's hammers. And what it does is it hits the material that goes in there and it liberates the cellular level. So you have 100% assimilation of what you drink. Wonderful. So for the past 23 years, every morning I have my Vitamix. And the base of it is minimum apple, orange, banana. Then I have some frozen fruits. I have some ginger, turmeric, baby leaves of spinach, and chia seeds. And then I put more things, but that's pretty much the basis I have 7 days a week for the past 23 years. I am in top shape. It is so good. You know why it's called breakfast? It's because you break your fast. That's what it comes for. You've been fasting for 8 hours or more. It depends if you want to go into ketones, because I do sometimes that as well. And so that intermittent fast. But so just the fact of when you break your fast, if you have a breakfast with toast, eggs, bacon, steak, and whoa, I need my breakfast. What you did is all the energy that you've gathered throughout the night. When you get up in the morning, you have this mega meal. It just uses that energy so much that's why you're tired at 2 p.m. You've burnt out all that energy. So therefore, the assimilation of my Vitamix gives me energy like really fast without depleting the energy that I have accumulated throughout the night.
Okay, what are you doing now that you wouldn't be doing if you hadn't taken care of your health?
Very good question. I love the question. I race motocross. I'm 61 years old. And 2 weeks ago, I was with my son, who is 17. And I jumped 30 to 40 feet. He jumped 70 to 80 feet. So what did I instill my kids? You can make it happen. You can do it. And although I don't win the races, I can tell you that I'm never the last one to win the races. But I'm often by far the oldest one on the track. So what does it enable me to do? Exactly that. I can do these kind of things. I pop wheelies and I jump. I got a 250 racing bike. It's pretty cool. So I can pop wheelies up to the 5th gear. I would have not been able to do this if I did not practice and take care of my body all my life. I'm not saying that everybody listening to this needs to do motocross racing. Don't. But it's enabling me to do things that I could not have done. And my son comes with me and we go racing together. And sometimes on the Monday he says, so what'd you do this weekend? I go racing with your dad. How old's your dad? Like 40? No, my dad's 61. 61? And so why? Because I paid the price. My father said, if you make things hard at first, it's going to be easy for a long time. If you make things easy at first, it's going to be hard for a long time. Let's apply that to health and exercise. If you just exercise a little bit every now and then, you're making it easy for you. It's going to be hard for a long time. But if you make it hard at first and apply yourself, you're going to create the stamina and the momentum that's going to carry you through, that even at some points, if you're lacking energy and you make a little dip, you're going to be able to get right back up there because you've been to that plateau before. And so it's very important. So in life, there is no shortcuts. You have to pay the price if you want the rewards, but the rewards are amazing. My son and I, we have a relationship that's amazing because he does so many things with his dad that's 61, with most other dads that are staying home doing nothing. And so it's pretty cool. So that's one of the things that it has helped me to do, is to do things that I couldn't have do before. So Stephen, that's one of them. Other thing too, I do Wim Hof. And so I hold my breath. And this morning was 2:45, holding my breath that I was doing. So I do that every day. And I actually, in March this year, I had COVID. And so when I had COVID, I tried to do my breathing. I could hardly do 1 minute. Hardly do 1 minute. And so I says, no. So I kept on training 5 days a week for my breath. And now I'm at 2:45 and sometimes 3:15. The most I had done before COVID was 4 minutes. That's my 5 minutes is my goal. But that's okay. And that's holding our breath in a specific way. But I'm not saying this to impress you. I'm saying to impress upon you that the reason you're saying, look at this guy. I started like you, like everybody else. Nothing. I was 6 foot. 6'3", 125 pounds. Like, come on. And then actually be able to develop to something that's, I think, pretty cool. My wife thinks so too. and so,
yeah.
but all this to say that when's the best time to start? 10 years ago. When's the second best time to start? Now, today. Don't say, oh, it's too late. It's never too late. Think of
I have no time.
Yes, you make the time.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why people say I have no time is because they're not making a priority of it. And so here's my secret to this. In order to create priority for something, you need to first have to want something consciously. I want to be healthy. But then wanting is not enough. You need to desire it. And to desire it, how about you have some, I call this future pacing. Future pacing. If I was to be in shape, what could I do now that I'm not doing? And then let your mind wander. I can do this. I can, yeah. And then let the excitement build. And as these excitement builds, you get pictures. Those pictures will turn you on. And as they turn you on, let that pull you into action. It's going to pull you into action. And then start a little bit. And granted, if you haven't exercised for a long time, Stephen, you can say you're going to have so much lactic acid that it's going to hurt the next day. There's ways of doing it with breathing, but nevertheless, it will only last for a while. You might have lactic acid for a week, and after that, there's no more. And now you're riding. Again, make it hard at first. It's going to be easy for a long time. Absolutely.
Beautiful. I know you have a gift of some kind for people. Do you want to talk about that?
Well, okay. So as I have a gift that's something that you can do every day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a video course with a worksheet. And basically what it does is how to get back on track fast when your results are getting sideways and you feel discouraged. And you know what? We all fall into that category. You know, sometimes we feel discouraged when our results are sidetracked. And this specific program that I'm talking about, it's free, by the way. You just put in your name and email, and it's going to drip some videos because I don't want to overwhelm you with all the project at once. You do something, and then you implement. What a concept. You know what I'm doing with this? I am training you to become a better individual. Why? You get something, you act on it. You get something else, you act on it. You get something else, you act on it. Therefore, your confidence in you increases, and so does your stamina and your momentum. Then when I have you become an habitual on this, then you can continue to do it. And guess what? If you've been successful at one thing, then you'll be able to transpose that success to other things in your life, such as starting to exercise every day or every second day when you're starting. Doesn't matter. The only wrong thing is to not do anything. We missed 100% of the shots we don't take. So let's take some shots. If you haven't succeeded yet, it's because you haven't failed enough yet. What? Talk about a reframing of your mind that's not going to transform every time that you come short or you don't succeed as much as you want, or let's call it fail, or it doesn't work the way you want. It's okay. It's okay. If you haven't succeeded yet the way you want, it's because you didn't fail enough yet. So continue to take action. You will miss, and after a while, it's going to get easier and easier. Not that the task is easier, but that your ability to do it has increased. And that's the secret to make it happen for a long time.
Before we leave, could we have 3 takeaways that you would want to leave people?
Okay, that's on the spot for 3. There's so many, but the first one I can say is there is no perfection in this world. If you wait to be perfect before you start, you will never start. Perfection is not of this world. Everybody, including Michael Jordan, sucked at basketball when he started. He did. Actually, did you know that he was cut off of the high school team? Did you know that?
No.
He was cut off the bicycle. And he said, but he wanted it so much that he said, the coach says, can I be the water boy? Can I be the towel boy? Mm-hmm. And so he would be at the practice, look at them, and then he would go home and practice. Key word. There's no perfection, but you can practice. Practice. And then if you want to accelerate it, get a mentor. You know, you have Stephen that is great for fitness. So you don't know what? Ask him questions. The worst question is the one you don't ask. That's the worst question. Ask him the question, and Stephen will help you to find the answer for fitness. He's been around the block for a long time. And so then when someone tells you something, my last advice is start. Even if you feel that you don't have all that's necessary to start. It doesn't matter. Start. Once you start, then the momentum has started, literally, and then it's easier to keep going. Start is the first step to gain success in anything. So there's no perception, there's no perfection. Practice, practice, practice. Seek the advice of an expert, and then start with what you got. Start with what you got, and then be amazed at that what small consistency guided by someone that knows will lead you to.
Wow, that was great. Thank you. So where can people find you? Where can they get a hold of you? Your website, social media? What's the best way?
Howtobecomemore.com. Howtobecomemore.com is my website. You can go on LinkedIn as well. Francois Lupien on LinkedIn. You'll find me there. And then one of the things is I say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So it's a matter of make a decision yourself. What is it that you want? And then once it's clear, go for it. Once you see the opportunity, leap, jump right away. Because if you don't, fear is going to grab you and it's going to stop you from moving. Oh, who am I kidding? I tried before. It doesn't work. I don't have time anyways. I must cost a lot of money. Maybe I should. And here we are. We stop ourselves. When you see an opportunity, leap before fear grabs you. And then see how free you are, because you'll be able to fly and fear will never catch you. So I guess we'll end on this one.
Thank you again for being here with us and talking to our audience. Find Francois at howtobecomemore.com. Find Dr. Fitness USA at drfitnessusa.com. It's been an honor and a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me. All the best, and thanks for all you do.